one of the three big centers that determine how well we move. Today we're going to focus a lot on hips, a slower tempo with more breathing. This is a perfect practice to lower stress levels also. Whether you're new to movement or a practiced yogi, all you need is a chair without arms. Let's get started. I'm going to take 3 breaths here just to get focused on the practice. I encourage you to do the same. Take a breath in and exhale. Take a breath in and exhale. Feel your seat in the chair. Take a breath in and exhale. Now we're going to involve our upper body because it's all connected. Bring your hands to heart center. As you breathe in, simply look up, reach up. Exhale, bring your arms back to shoulder height and back into your chest. Take a breath in, reach up. Exhale, bring those arms back to center and heart center. One last time, reach up, breathe in. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Scoot forward slightly in your seat. One hand is going to be on your belly and one hand atop your tush. We are going to be tilting our hips forward and back. As we tilt forward, you'll find that your front hand kind of dips closer to the seat. As we tilt back on our hips or our pelvis, you'll feel your back hand closer to the seat. Let's do this 6 slow repetitions. So breathe in. Front hand dips. Exhale. Back hand closer to the seat. Inhale, tilting that pelvis forward. Exhale. Back hand is closer to the seat. Inhale. Pelvis comes forward. Exhale. Pelvis rises in front. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Tip that pelvis and back. We have 2 more. Breathe in. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Last time, tilt that pelvis forward. And exhale, press that tailbone down. Bring your body back to neutral, nice tall torso. And take 2 breaths here. Now just notice what you experienced around the front and back of your pelvis as you were doing that move. Gives us a lot of information on how well your hips and pelvis are working together. Now we are going to circle by shifting our weight first onto one hip, then we shift our weight forward onto the front of our chair. We shift all our weight into your left tush. And then you shift all your weight into the back of your glutes. We'll go around 3 times each way. So now shift into your right pelvis. This hip comes up slightly. Rotate around and the front of your pelvis is dipped forward. Exhale, all your weight's on your left tush. And back. Now notice the sensations as you're shifting your weight front to back and side to side. Shifting forward, that pelvis is dipped again. Shift to the side and shift your weight back. Last time this way, shift to the right hip, Shift or circle forward. Shift all your weight to your left glute and then back to the rear. Come up center. Take a moment. We're going to circle the opposite direction. So with hand on hips so you can feel what's happening with your pelvis. Shift your weight forward. Feel your pelvis tilt forward. And to the right. In the back. To the left. And forward. Shift again to the right hip. Shift back. Feel what's happening under your hands. Shift your weight to your left hip. And forward. One more time. Shift all the weight to that right glute. And back. What are you experiencing in your hips and pelvis? And forward. Very nice. Take a breath here and just let all the work that we're doing get integrated in your nervous system. We are going to do something called butterflies. So I am going to place both feet on the outside border of my foot. If you want to elevate your feet on top of a large book, you can certainly do that. Sit forward slightly in your chair, and we are going to, like butterfly wings, open and close those legs. Are you ready? We're going to do 5 of these, breathing and paying attention to what we're feeling as we move. Where do things move well? And perhaps where are they restricted? Open and close. That head that's in your hip joint is rotating one way and then the other. 2 more. And last time out. Last time in. Very nice. Stop for a moment. Put your feet flat on the floor. Now we're going to slide our leg open and closed on each side 5 times. This is a different kind of movement inside that hip joint. Still moving your femur well with that femoral head moving inside the hip socket. You can hold on to the side of your chair. Sweep your one leg open and closed. Opposite side, sweep open. You can keep your foot in contact with the floor or lift it up and hover over the floor. And back to center. Opposite side sweeps open and closed. If this is very easy for you, you might lift the leg and open and close, depending on what's right for you. Otherwise, we're just right there, shifting right on the carpet or floor. Last time, open and close, and opposite side, open and close. Well done. Scooch back in your chair. Take 2 breaths here. We were rotating the head of our femur inside our hip socket. Now we're going to lift and lower one leg at a time, which is actually the movement forward and back when we're walking. So let's lift and lower. Bend that knee. Opposite leg, extend, lift, and lower. Opposite leg, extend, lift, and lower. This side, extend, lift, and lower. What kind of movements are you noticing are easiest? And what kind of movements are most challenging? And lower this side. Extend, lift, and lower. We have one more on each leg. Extend, lift, and lower. Opposite leg. Extend, lift, and lower. Nicely done. Sitting back for a moment. Bob the cat has joined us. Let's bring one leg up on top of the opposite. This is a figure 4 position. If lifting your leg is not available to you, would you please cross your ankles, sitting forward in your chair so you can really benefit in the hip. So I'm going to sit back. If you have had hip replacements, which I have, please make sure you're following the directions from your surgeon on movements. Holding the lower leg in this figure 4, we are simply going to lift the knee up and lower. We are pumping body fluids into that hip socket. So much of our body is composed of water. 3 more times, up and down. 2 more times, up and down. Bobby's cheering for you. Up and down. Lower that leg. Would you do a forward fold just to counter the moves that we've been doing? One breath here. Good boy, Bobby. Yes. Come back up. And now that left leg is going to lift to your right. And again, we are lifting and lowering our knee at whatever capacity that you have. Put your hand on that hip joint. You'll feel that femoral head moving inside the socket. The big bone on the top of your leg is the femur. It's got a round head that sits in that socket. 2 more. Last one. And down. Well done. Bring the leg down. Come up on the toes or the ball of your right foot and you lift your tush off the seat. Hold on to your seat if you need to. Lift to the ball of the left foot. Lift the hip off the seat and lower. Again, pay attention to what the experience is like, what's easy, what is challenging. Lift that hip and down. 2 more times. Up and down. This side now. Up and down. Last set. Up and down. Here we go. Up and down. Both hands are going to rest outside your hip. Just allow your body to twist for a moment. Balancing movement above those hips into your back. Opposite side. One of the last things we're doing for your hip is something called hip locks. I'm going to put my hands out of the screen so you can see what's happening. I lift my hip and scoot forward, lift my hip and scoot back. So walk forward with that hip, walk back with that hip. 2 more times, walk forward. walk back. This is actually part of how it looks in our body when we walk. And back. Walk forward with that hip. And back. Let me turn my chair for you. We are coming up on the conclusion of our practice, but not before we walk forward and back, pressing through our feet to help us lift that hip forward and back, lifting forward and back 2 more times, lifting forward and back. Last time, lifting forward and back. I am going to shift my weight in my chair so that my right hip is about halfway off the seat of my chair. Dropping the right knee behind or directly under your hips, position your foot in back on the toes, but turn your toes towards the center of your body. You are manipulating where this hip bone is going. So now gently bring your upper body forward about 5 degrees is all. And you will feel a beautiful opening happening in the front of that hip. Two more times. How's that hip feeling? One more breath here. And exhale. Bring your foot back. I'm turning my chair so you can see the opposite side. Letting half of my hip off the chair, holding onto the side with the opposite hand. Extend and then turn your toes in towards the center line of your body. Shifting forward slightly, you should feel an opening in the front of that hip. If you're not experiencing an opening, lean back slightly. You'll find it there. 3 breaths. And notice what a wonderful thing it is to just devote some time to how well you feel in a day. Makes such a difference. No one can do that for us except us. Bring that foot around. Let's do 4 cat-cow breaths just to get a lot of oxygen in our system. Visit another movement with our upper spine that's attached to those hips. And conclude the practice. So as I breathe in, my ribs come forward and I look up slightly. Exhale, press your backbone back. You'll feel those hips moving. Breathe in. Those hips are dipping forward, aren't they? Exhale. Your pelvis is tilting down and back. Inhale. Pelvis is tipping down in front. Exhale. Down and back. Last time, breathe in. And now, exhale. Press that backbone back. I hope you've enjoyed this tailored practice specific to hip movement. Again, hips are one of the 3 centers of how we move in life. If you enjoyed this practice, I ask you to subscribe and let other people know about it so this channel can grow. I so appreciate you being with me today as we moved well to live better. Namaste.